we really need a driving force in a big garden like this, because it certainly doesn't take care of itself. And when you consider years ago, a place of this sort of stature would have maybe 20, 30 gardeners on full time. They would have people getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning and actually raking the gravel driveways and gravel paths, and absolutely nothing was left straggly. It was all immaculate, wasn't it, Judy? All the time it had to look good. All the edges were cut neat. So this is the rose garden, and I love roses. It smells absolutely beautiful. There has been, with this rose garden, we have had some problems with the soil, which has gone quite sour. So we had to replace all the soil with mushroom compost and manure. We mixed it all up and put it in several years ago now. Look at this lovely convolvulus bindweed growing. Do you know what? I had this garden, once. A lady phoned me up, she said, "Oh, we've got the most beautiful pink flowers all along the border." It was this lovely wall garden, 17th century wall garden. Oh, it's the most stunning pink flowers all the way along. And I said, "Well, when will they appear?" So any time sort of in the next few weeks. So anyway, I turned up to start the contract and I realised it was just a whole bed of bindweed. So these are the rose beds that have gone sour, unfortunately. So we dug a little square pit, about 24 inches square and a few foot down, 3.5 foot down, just to get some soil analysis and see what was going on. But it is a bit of a mystery. So I'm not really quite sure what to try. I bought some chemicals, which were rather expensive. A pot like that for £60, which we water on every now and then. And there are some improvements. I mean, we have got some leaf coming through here, but there's still quite a lot of dead material. Actually, we need to get in here and prune all this dead out and give them another good feed with some well-rotted manure or something. And what I'll probably be inclined to do is then, once we've pruned the dead out, given them a good feed, we'll let them come through the winter and see what's happening in springtime. If there's no improvement in the spring, we'll have to have them all out and replace the soil again, unfortunately. So when you're deadheading a rose, often people will just snip tops off like that, but that's no good for the plant because it's very rare that he's going to be able to put some more flower buds on top of this strappy growth here. So always go down sort of 6 inches or so into the plant, and then that way you let the air and the light get through the remainder of the plant, and he's much more likely to use the energy then to produce some lovely new flower buds. I never know what email I'm going to receive in the morning. I never know what letter might come through the post. And I've been to some amazing places. I've travelled all around. I've been, international. So I don't really want to look 5 years ahead, to be honest. I just work with the seasons. What are people going to expect from you if you become a garden designer or a horticulturalist? Well, they're going to want you to come up with some sort of concept, idea. Go into the garden and feel instantly like you know what's going to work there. And it's going to be exciting, and it's going to be a garden where they can take their friends and entertain, and they'll want to have barbecues and sit on the terrace with wine and things. And you need to sell them yourself, your knowledge, your experience, and what you've learned over the years, so they know that they're picking the right person for their project. And also, it's very important to make sure you can deliver what you're actually promising. So do your research. Don't be afraid to try radical ideas. You can mix contemporary and old styles. It's quite similar to interiors in that respect. Just make sure you've got a good knowledge of your plants and your materials and what you're working with, and that will carry you through well. Let Mother Nature do the work if you can, because gardening's hard enough work as it is. And sometimes the best gardens all come from experimenting, and occasionally you will get things wrong, but some of the loveliest surprises in a garden have come from just letting Mother Nature do her thing and plants are quite opportunistic, and they know where they can survive best, and a plant in a happy place is always going to give you a nice garden. So now we're going to cut this rheum down. So these are the old flower stalks, flower stems, and the seeds. These are the seeds here. So each one of those would create a new rheum. They've got fantastic leaves, big leaves, a bit like Gunnera maculata, aren't they, a little bit? But the flowers are amazing. Here it gives us a place for the eye to rest, so we've got all these lovely flowers around us, lots of colour, and your eye, as it goes along, it just needs places where it can rest before it moves on to the next splash. And so it is foliage primarily now, although earlier on it did have the most fantastic plumes of red. Thank you for watching me in the gardens today. I hope you've enjoyed what you've been watching and that it's been interesting for you. And if you choose to have a career in horticulture, I can promise you, you'll have a fantastic time, and good luck. My top tip would be gain as much experience as you can, and don't focus necessarily on one thing on the outset. Just take on anything that interests you, even remotely, and you may have more fun with it than what you originally anticipated.